Hi guys, and welcome to Trucking Along with Kiersey. That's me, your positive voice in trucking. And if you can tell, I'm losing my voice, so I'm gonna just keep talking and see how long I can last. As a female trucker, I get a lot of questions about what men are like over on the road, and it really makes me laugh because my initial response is always the same. Well, what are guys like out on the road? Let me see. They're short and bald and green and have little antennas on their head because, you know, they're from like another planet. Like, what do you mean, what are men like out on the road? They're the same guys that are out at home, that live next to you. So I'm going to talk about that. Stick with me, and we're going to talk about stupid men things say to women over the road. Alright, before I even get started, I want to just remind everybody, when they get on the truck, make sure that you have all kinds of, whatever you would have in your home medicine cabinet, bring it with you. These truck stops might sell like 1 or 2 pills in a packet, and they'll charge like $6 for like 2 Zyrtec or something. So always have Tylenol, ibuprofen, Pepto-Bismol, honey, and lemon, because here I am drinking my hot tea, and guess what? Most truck stops will have the tea, but they won't have the honey and the lemon. So always keep it on the truck. Sometimes you can find them in the little tiny packs, but you wouldn't believe the last time that I start to get a sore throat, I could not find any honey or lemon. I went to like 4 or 5 truck stops, so I just decided that I'm going to keep it on the truck. Okay, always have moisturizer on you. This Gold Bond is freaking awesome. Like, it's Gold Bond Ultimate Radiance Renewal with coconut oil, cocoa butter, and African shea butter. Okay, you can get this at Walmart, you can get this at CVS or any of the in any of the drugstores, but I don't know if you can see that it's really, really thick. It's not like watery at all, so it is so hydrating. When you put it into your skin, it just like everything gets absorbed into your skin, so silky and nice and smooth, and it doesn't really feel greasy. And I get such dry elbows from having it on the armrest. So winter time is upon us. Time to stockpile your stuff in case you get sick. It's not fun being sick out here on the road. One of the first things that happened to me out here on the road, I'll never forget. I was with my CDL instructor, and excuse me. I was with my CDL instructor, and it was like my 2nd or 3rd week on the truck, and I grabbed my laundry basket, went into the truck stop, was doing laundry. When I came out, I got my Tide and my bounce sheets and my basket, and this guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, I know you." And I was like, "No, you don't," and I kept walking. And he grabbed my arm. Now, if any of you saw this video up above, look, I keep doing that. I feel like John Travolta. Do the hustle. Do. But anyway, so I was like, no. If you guys saw my safety video, my personal safety video, then you know that I didn't take that. He grabbed my arm. And I was like, you don't know me, because if you did, you know that grabbing me would be hazardous for your health, so let go. And he was like, well, I didn't mean it like that. Well, you grabbed me. So, so I just kept going, and he was like, no, I got a question for you. I'm like, what? He's like, are you a driver? And I said, no, I just come to the truck stop for my, for the fun of it, because I don't like my washer and dryer at home. I mean, I'm standing there with the Tide and the basket and the laundry and everything. And he's like, well, I'm a driver. Wow. Captain Obvious, we're standing in a freaking truck stop with 300 people, you know. So he's like, why don't you come back to my truck? I got a brand new automatic. I can show you a few things in it. And I was like, let me get this straight. I drive a manual. I'm in a stick. You're in an automatic. I'm more of a man than you are then. So what are you going to show me in your truck? No, not interested. One day I was at a customer checking in at the window, and the customer told me and this other guy that it was going to be 15 to 20 minutes for us to get calls for a door. So the guy turns around and says to me, oh, so where are you from? And I tell him, and he's like, are you married? I said, no. He says, well, why don't you come back to my truck? We have some time to play around. And I said, well, are you married? He said, no. I said, do you know why? He says, no, tell me. I said, because you think 15 minutes is going to satisfy a woman. Oh my God, no. There was one guy that was really cute, and he was way too young for me, and he worked at a customer, and it was one of those places where you pull up your truck right alongside of the security gate. So he says to me, he's like, do you ever get around here much? And I was like, no. And he's like, you are so pretty. I would love for you to come back. I would love to take you to dinner. And I was like, that's really sweet, but you're really kind of young for me, and you're really cute and adorable, but you're just too young for me, and I don't really get back this way too much anyway. And he looked at me and he was like, you're not too old for me. What are you talking about? And he had my license, and he looked at my birthday, and he says, oh my God, I never thought you were that old. And he turns to the woman sitting next to him and he goes, look at her birth date. She's older than you. Can you believe that? And I was like, oh my God, see, that just shows his immaturity, because he should never have said that. He's never going to get anything from that woman for the end of time. Like, he's not going to get a shift change or a paper clip or a phone call or nothing. Like, he just etched his death in stone as far as that was concerned. You never insult a woman. So, there's been some interesting ones out here on the road. There was this one guy that was really nice. Okay, he was brand new. He was in training at CRST. We were in the Laramie Petro, and he was asking me a whole bunch of stuff about basically trucking in general. And he was like, he's new, and he didn't like his trainer, and they're a team company anyway, so he was going to have to team afterwards, which he was finding out he didn't like. So he's asked me a ton of questions, and we were kind of trapped there for 3 days. The highway was shut down in the wintertime. So, and a lot of the truck staff were older drivers, so I think he and I were sort of in the same age bracket, where most of the other people were in their late 50s and 60s. So we kind of hung around a little bit and went to breakfast and dinner and stuff. At one point, he said to me, I have a question for you, and I don't mean to be rude, but it's a serious question. I was like, okay. He says, how do you get laid out on the road? And I said, well, that is a very interesting question. But my question is, do you mean how do I get laid, or how do you get laid? Because me, being a woman, it doesn't matter what I look like, how old I am. I could be like 600 pounds, I could be 90 pounds, I could have a huge nose, little nose, it's all over my face, it's not going to make a difference. All I got to do is take my shirt off, walk into the middle of the parking lot, and there's going to be a line of guys ready to, just, that's the way it is. There's a ton of people out here, and most of these lease ops, owner ops, they don't go home. They'll be out here for 3-4 months at a time, and even the company drivers, they're out for a month at a time usually, so I kind of want it more than that. So he started laughing. He's like, yeah, I guess you're right. I said, yeah. And he's like, so what can I do? I said, well, that's an easy one. Go on some hormones, get some breast implants, and, you know, get a sex change, and you're good to go. And this, like, country farmer Kansas guy with this slight accent looked at me and just went, he was never expecting me to say that. He was just never expecting me to say that. And, you know, there was another one when I was on my, well, I guess I wasn't. It must have been in the very beginning. There was a guy that was in a truck stop, and he was on the CB bragging to everybody about how he has 100 women all over the country and his wife doesn't know. So, me being me, I couldn't resist. I got on the CB and I was like, I got news for you. She knows, she just doesn't care because she's screwing somebody in the bed that you're paying for in the house that you're paying the mortgage on. She doesn't care and she doesn't have to put up with you. And, you know, that upset him, and he's like, oh, no, that would never be. Oh, once you had the best, you forget the rest. She won't go with nobody else. I was like, you know what? Let me explain something to you, dude. Most men cannot satisfy one woman. You just admitted to being 100 times less satisfying than the normal man. Okay? And you're also not the best, because the best does not need to advertise himself on a CB to a bunch of men. You're a straight man. Now, maybe that will work if you're gay. Are you gay? And it turns into, what? I'm not gay. Well, then why are you talking about sex with men? I mean, you know, 90% of the people out here in the trucking world are men. So why would you be trying to turn on a bunch of men? Oh my God, this guy freaked out and he starts screaming, I'm going to come show you, and I'm going to show you what the best is like. I was like, honey, I had the best. I gave his business cards out to my friends because I thought he was great. I was like, here, you got to call up this guy friend of mine. You know, here's his number. I mean, you don't have to advertise if you're the best. So, those are a couple things. There was this one security guy that, you know, I'm big-breasted, and I've had them since I was like 10, 11, 12, so I'm used to them. But every once in a while, a guy's like really fascinated. I don't know. You guys are weird, sorry. Maybe you are a bunch of little green men with antennas and you're from another planet, because sometimes I just don't understand you. But anyway, so this guy had to be like 70, 75, and he looked at me and goes, ooh, if I was 25 years older, what I could do with those. And I looked at him and I said, you could be 25 and you wouldn't be able to handle me. I gave a 25-year-old a heart attack last week. And he said, well, I don't have a heart problem. And I said, well, neither did he until last week. And he just kept laughing, and you know, but I know a lot of women would be really upset by some of those things, but the way I look at it, it means to me it means somebody still is interested in me. When they stop making those comments, that's when I'll get upset, because then I'll know I'll be old and fat and wrinkled and, you know, gray hair, and nobody will want me. So you know, I'd rather get the comments and come out with something else to combat at them. There was another guy that was really funny. I was a Flying J in Lake Station, Illinois, and he was bending over looking at his tires, and I got out of my truck and he raised up just to eye level with my breasts, and he looked at me and said to me, do you drive for Prime? But he was like, he had his face down where my breasts were, looking at me like this. And I said, what? You mean the 15-foot logo gave it away? Really? And he was like, well. I'm like, actually, shh, come here. I'm like, and he's like, what? I was like, we got to get in the truck stop right away. Come on, let's go. And I'm like, double time it. So we get into the Flying J, and I'm looking out the door like this, and he's standing next to me. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just watching. Just watch. And he says, what are we waiting for? And I was like, look, I got something to tell you. I don't drive for Prime. I'm part of an international theft ring, and we're testing the response time of the carriers and the police. Cops should be here in about 2 minutes. And he didn't know what to say. And he's looking at me, and he's looking at the truck, and he's looking at me, and he's looking at the truck. And I was like, are you interested in a job? It's great home time. It's tax-free. It's a heck of a lot of money, and you only work when you want to. And just then, my phone beeped. It was somebody texting me. And I said to him, oh, look, there's my ride. I gotta go. By the way, you might want to move your truck because they might think that you had something to do with it since you're parked next to me. And he's looking at me, and I was like, I gotta go. That's my ride. But, you know, I got your truck number. My people will come looking for you. Just decide if you want a job. And I ran out the door of the Flying J, and I came back through the Denny's on the other side. And it was so funny because when I got out of the Denny's and I went back to the parking lot, looked out the window, and he moved. He wasn't there anymore. So I have to play with these guys out on the road because it's fun. Not only is it entertaining, but it allows me to not be offended, because I think too many people in this world are too sensitive and too mushy, and you know, this is a hard job where you have to be able to stand up for yourself. And if you let every little thing out here bother you, you might as well just not even come. Don't even try, because you can't handle it. And that kind of flexibility and I don't want to say determination, but you have to be determined and you have to be committed out here. But that ability to just let things roll off your shoulder, you need that. Because if not, you're going to let things just build up and build up and build up in your head, and that's going to distract you and cause an accident. So those are just some of the things that have been said to me out here on the road that I think are funny. And I did write an article about this on truckingtruth.com, but I think it's kind of funnier in the video. But I'll link my articles to Trucking Truth down below too, so you can take a look at some of those other ones. I've touched on some of the subjects in my video, but not all of them. So I want to thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, and ring the little notification bell. And if you are a woman who is hesitant about getting into trucking because you're afraid of some creepy trainer or some idiot remarks from some men, then comment down below so that I can reply and tell you, get over it. Guys are going to make idiot comments at home too. The creepy trainer can be replaced. If he's that creepy, get a new one. But you might actually be hindering yourself and eliminating a really good trainer just because you, yes, you are being sexist. You don't want a man. That's sexism. Did you ever think about that? What if they give you a woman trainer and she's a lesbian? Is that something that you'd be accepting? What if they give you a woman trainer and she's transitioning into a man? And she's physically a woman right now. Is that acceptable? I had a transgender trainer. I didn't care. I wanted anybody that could teach me. Purple monkey smoking a pickle, for all I care. Could have had wings. I don't care. I just want somebody who's going to teach me. So my point is, don't let things hold you back. Fear can hold you back. And fear does not exist on this channel, does it? No, Kiersey. Come on, Cobra Kai fans. Defeat does not exist in this channel, does it? No, Kiersey. No, I know, I'm weird. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye.